What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Bundesliga career mode. This is episode number 19. We start today's episode off with transfer deadline day. As you can see, just over 3.25 million, or around 3.25 million in our budget for deadline day. Having said that, I decided to do nothing whatsoever. Now, he had a big bid for Robin Hack. Inter Milan wanting to take him to the Serie A, but after 6 goals in 19 and the game winner against Bochum, 3 assists as well, he's up to 79 overall. He has grown brilliantly since the series began. And don't forget, he signed that big 4-year extension in the summer as well. I said to Inter, appreciate the offer, but he's going nowhere. 21 million, but Robin has been absolutely brilliant and his growth has been incredible, still in his early to mid-20s. Also big bid for Piper as well. Leon putting in a big bid, but I rejected that one as well. And one for Wagnerman too. 3 of our star players in their early 20s getting bids here. Porto putting a bid of 10 mil, plus Oliveira, I think it was, for our right back. But I turned all 3 bids down in January and on this deadline day, and in January as well, like not a single piece of business done whatsoever. But to me, that's the right decision because, you know, right now as a team, we're in great form. It's been our best run of form of the season so far. We're keeping pace with the teams in the top 6 right now. I don't see the need to make changes in this January window, and I talked about it in the last episode. I like how realistically we're forming our identity at a nice pace. You know, it's season 2, we're halfway through the campaign, but we haven't just got a bunch of wonder kids and, you know, a team with a very strange identity. We're forming our identity really, really nicely at a really, really nice pace. And I really like how the team is shaping up and how things are currently looking right now. I didn't want to blow the squad up in the first season, have a totally new set of players. I like how at the moment, in terms of what we're seeing on the pitch, but also off the pitch of our identity as well, it's quite realistic, and I like how the save is going so far. I talk about it all the time. In FIFA career mode, you know, realism goes out the window just like that, very, very quickly indeed. But for now, I'm doing my best, and it's working pretty decently. You know, we could have a better team right now. I'm under no illusion. If I did things a little bit differently, we could have a slightly better team or a 4-star team. I believe if I made the right moves, I could probably have a 4.5-star team right now. But trying to keep it realistic is important to me, at least in the very first 2 seasons. So as you can see, 15 games to go in the Bundesliga, 5 wins in our last 6 games, and 4 points off Borussia Mönchengladbach in 6th place. We are keeping pace with Borussia Mönchengladbach, who have become like our main rivals in the series so far in the first 2 seasons, and now taking on Augsburg for our first game in February outside the January window. Best run of the season so far, and I wanted to extend it here away from home. It was a really cagey affair though, not too many chances in the game. I felt I'd been a slightly better team in this one. Couple of great saves that kept the score at 0-0 as we were still tied and couldn't break the deadlock. And in the final 10 minutes, hadn't been tested too much, but one late chance for the host here as Timu Puki receives the ball, gets around his man, tries to catch Ortega out. And this was so frustrating. Yeah, rebound goals are some of the most frustrating to concede in FIFA. Shot off the crossbar, hits the turf, and then just couldn't get it clear as Ortega was getting back to his feet. And Anton Miranchuk turns in the rebound, makes it 1-0. Augsburg have the breakthrough. And in the final 30 seconds of normal time, Mina rolls it to Götze, holds the ball up well, rolls it across, and after Agu couldn't intercept after a poor first touch, Romero wins it back, rolls it through, and Miranchuk makes it two goals there that I felt I couldn't really do much about. The first one, a rebound goal, hammering down circle on the rebound, trying to get it clear, just couldn't do so. Miranchuk beat me to the ball. And then for the second goal, the ball just deflects off a goose boot, couldn't control it. Romero wins it back, rolls it across, Miranchuk bags his brace. Such a frustrating loss, and that is how our streak ends. I don't think I deserved to lose this game. I thought, even though the XG was slightly higher for the hosts, I thought I played just as good, if not slightly better. But yeah, 2-0 the final score. Augsburg end our run after no defeats in 6, and as you can see, we drop down to 8th in the table, and the gap on Leverkusen in 6th now is extended to 7 points. So yeah, 14 games to go, and I've got to say, I'm starting to think, don't panic. You know, that to me is my mentality right now. Don't panic. You know, big defeat there, frustrating as hell conceding those 2 late goals that I couldn't do much about, but don't panic. don't feel sorry for yourself. Just get back out there and do the basics well. That's what you got to do in moments like this. So following game, Stuttgart, Mercedes-Benz Arena, away from home. Taking on side right now who were definitely favourites against. They had the first chance, Yusuf Poulsen heading over as it was still 0-0, and 29 minutes in, what a sitter. Robin Hack, one-on-one, and I somehow bent it wide of the post. So still goalless in a pretty cagey first half. Got to be honest, shaken a little bit after that defeat to Augsburg. Hadn't really played the best football in the first 45, and we were still deadlocked at 0-0 heading into the break. So second half begins, and 9 minutes after the restart, we're away on the counter. Jamie Llewellyn down the right-hand side, rolls it through to Ludwig, who I gave a start to pre-game, and Marco Ludwig, who we got out of the academy earlier on in the season. He made his debut in the cup and got an assist for what was a game winner for Fabian Klos. I thought, you know what, I'm going to give him a start. Big loss to Augsburg, let's see how the kid gets on. Well, talk about a brilliant first ever Bundesliga start. His second game in the league this season. The first one came off the bench, but for this moment here, gave him the start against Stuttgart, and he scores our opening goal and his first in pro football. The 18-year-old off the mark in pro football makes it 1-0 and gives us the lead. And a few minutes later, after we got the advantage here, an hour into the game, Jamie Llewellyn once again causing problems, rolls it across and gets his second assist of the game as he finds Oku Gawa. Little bit of a goal drought for him recently, but back on the score sheet here, last year's player of the season, makes it 2. We double our lead, and right from kickoff, Stuttgart just give the ball away with Anton. We get it straight back, Ludwig through to Okugawa, our 2 goal scorers linking up. And for our 18-year-old, talk about the composure of a vet. Yep, running through one-on-one, but doesn't go for his brace. Doesn't try and bang it in. Nope, rolls it across to Jamie Llewellyn, who set up the first 2 and bags our third. 3 goals in, I think, 8 minutes for Arminia Bielefeld at the Mercedes-Benz Arena, and talk about a big response. Shock 2-0 loss away against Augsburg. How do you respond? Let's throw in the 18-year-old kid, see what he does. Man of the match display, a goal and an assist in a 3-0 victory away at Stuttgart. So yeah, huge victory there. Really needed that one, because I always talk about, you know, form in FIFA CM is just so OP. If you go into bad form, you always worry, you know, when you're going to get out of it. So if you have a loss and you're chasing an objective like a title or a European place, you gotta get back to winning ways as soon as possible, because the longer it goes on where you're struggling for form, the more you start to worry and the worse your players become. So yeah, for Ludwig, as we know, we changed him from a wing back to a winger, and that saw him grow significantly and now jump up to, well, what he is right now is 68 overall. He'll be 69 overall not before long. With 13 games to go, that win there now puts us 5 points behind Leverkusen in 6th and Mönchengladbach in 5th. So yeah, right now, I'm starting to think, okay, alright, we had the defeat to Augsburg. Yes, had we not lost that game and won it, the gap would have been just 2. But let's not worry about the past too much. Can't change it, just focus on the present and the future. So, following game, Borussia Dortmund, going for the title this season at the Schuko Arena. And 28 minutes in, Marco gets his second in 2 and gives us the lead. Yep, Ludwig once again getting the nod pre-game, storming down the right. We know he's got a bit of pace, and you would have seen pre-game, I changed his development plan to inverted winger to get his finishing up, because in this team, our wingers are inside forwards for the most part. Hack on the left and Wimmer on the right, who's been dropped to the bench in place of the 18-year-old for this game. He gives us the lead, makes it 1-0, and 40 minutes in, we were so close to going 2 goals up. Llewellyn released by the kid, great save by Nubel, catches the 1-0, but really in the first half, it was the Ludwig show. He was just tearing Dortmund apart in the first half. Brilliant piece of skill there, great save after the ball through, as it was still 1-0 at the break. And in the first 45 minutes, I'd really taken the game to Dortmund. I was going for our first scalp of this series. I'd been the better team, I'd looked the better side, I'd had the more chances, I just couldn't find a second goal, and in the end that proved to be crucial. 12 minutes after the restart, and talk about frustration. Ball chipped into the middle. Dardai goes up for the aerial duel, goes down, stays down in a crumpled heap on the floor, and whilst the play continues, Ruben Neves, the former Wolves midfielder, takes aim, drills it in, bottom corner, Dortmund back on level terms. Such a frustrating goal, that one. I mean, nothing I could have done about the Dardai injury, but even so, Neves with the goal. But in the end, I'll take the point. It's a missed opportunity, there's no doubt about it. Golden chance to get our first goal of the series, but in the grand scheme of things here, well, I've mentioned it before, we're not quite at this level yet. They scored their only shot of the game. Yes, you could say missed opportunity. Yes, we should have won it, but listen, you got to take these points as good points and be thankful for them. A draw against Borussia Dortmund, I'm going to take that every day of the week. So just one win in 3 sees us in 8th place, 4 points still to gap for Mönchengladbach and Leverkusen, but 12 games to go. The goal difference a major concern, but there's a little bit of a gap developing now between where we are in 8th and the teams below us. I do believe, even if we can't break into the top 6, just like last season, we shouldn't finish any lower than 8th place. But that will end today's episode of the Bundesliga Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please drop a like. Most love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Bundesliga Career Mode very soon.